Welcome to 831 Living Your Best Life podcast with Jungle Jim Hunter. And today you will be inspired and empowered, and you will want to tell your friends to go to their favorite podcast provider or to junglejimhunter.com and click on subscribe, download, and like, and please rate us and review. This week we're continuing the series about where does preparation begin and what is preparation all about and what's so important about it. And most of this I learned from my father when I was just a boy. And he's part of the 831 people that made a difference in my life and gave me the best life ever. And I'm passing it on to you. And I hope that you will learn from this and you will have the best life ever. While training kids and helping families, we offered a chance for the kids to come on what we called the desert experience. No one had to come on the trip to train with me, although I would have preferred that every kid I did work with had done it. No one was forced to ride their bikes to 500 miles in 5 days or to race as fast as possible as if it was a race. All they had to do was ride it and complete it and record what they were feeling and thinking about and then share it with me so I could get to know them. Everything we did was done for specific reasons. Do something way outside their comfort zone to discover what it was like to be training alone without family, peers, friends, and anyone else around them. The elite athletes, of course, discovered their emotional status when they were in a lower pressure performance environment. None had ever gone through this exercise before. It was the first time they'd ever done this. Yes, all 1,013 of them, first time they'd ever done it. It tells you what is at your core. C.O.R.E. Dad placed enormous pressure on you because he had 8 priorities ahead of what he desired you to do. If you were going to become a ski racer living where there were no mountains, you had to be strong at your core to get done what he had you do before you could get to what you planned to do. Training had to fit around the other priorities, and so I learned to work with him and his plan to get to my plan. His priorities taught you that good was unacceptable because that was average. Better was okay as a temporary rest stop, but best was at the core of his expectations. There were days that you could not get your training in before he expected you to be working, and so you learned what was at the core of his thinking and then built around it. It was not like I could go for a bike ride or training on a run and then get to the farm work. It meant that if you were going to train, you had to know his schedule and what he was aiming to achieve, then seek to find every opportunity to get done as much as you planned to do around his core plan. The C in core stands for character. Dad measured the character qualities you demonstrated and measured and taught you that being good or better was not acceptable compared to best. The hard part for us is to understand that being our best requires you to be honest with yourself and recognize you can do better. This meant you had to understand what your core had to look like. In other words, what kind of character quality person are you? You see, in the word core, it contains the word or. The or in core needs to be mined to be shown to be at a profit. That's the definition of it. Dad would point out that a seed surrenders itself and is buried in the cold, dark, black, damp soil, and then from the inside out grows and swells and sends down roots to produce the fruit. 200 to 300 seeds multiplying itself, doing it by rote. R-O-T-E, and the R in core stands for rote, as natural as breathing. It gives all it has until it runs out of R, resources, O, opportunity, T, time, and E, energy, to provide excellent seeds that can do it all over again. So there you have it. The C is character qualities, the O is the order in which things are done, and the R is doing it by rote, and the E stands for excellent. Excellence is not a bad word. Excellent means possessing outstanding qualities or superior merit, being remarkable. The second definition of excellent is extraordinary or superior. It is a present participle of excel. It is not a bad thing. It is describing a particular quality of whatever you are describing. It was all around me. The best pasta comes from the best durum wheat, he would remind me. The best bread comes from the best hard spring wheat, he would remind me. You want a first responder to know only 100% of their stuff? Do you want your children to go to the best school? Do you want the best doctor performing an operation on you in a life or death situation? You may be a good skier, but they don't come to you and ask you what kind of course you want to race on race day when you go to the Olympics. Think about it. No Olympic site exists more than 2 years before you get to compete on it, so being simply good is not going to get you down the course, let alone be able to win a medal, because they try to set the conditions as difficult and as challenging as it possibly can be. If your fitness level does not allow you to repeat what you just did again the same day, you are not good enough. If your technical skill and physical preparation allows you to repeat what you just did, you are simply good. If your tactics can handle change and your technical skill can adjust and your physical preparation will allow you to repeat your previous performance, you are better than good. You are getting better and getting closer. But if your equipment can handle temperature change, your tactics considered all possible scenarios, and your technical skill can adjust on the fly, and your physical preparation allows you to repeat the same performance again and again and again, then you are the best. The hardest thing for any person to do is to stand in front of a mirror and look into their own eyes and say, I am the best. Why? Because we know at our core, if we have mined ourselves to have gone as far as we can to be excellent. It is not failure to fail. It's the beginning of growth. So don't look at this as negative. Failing is a good thing because it tells you what you have to do next. My quote for the day, at your core, you know if you are excellent or making excuses for your previous performance. My 1% personal dare all this week is to take 15 minutes every day and grow, improving yourself so you can lead the people you're responsible to and for, so you can be a greater help to them at the end of the week. I really appreciate you listening. I hope you will have grown before we meet next time. Thanks for listening.